of Save the Victor Roll. How's everybody doing today? Amazing, I hope. It is another video from your older than average YouTuber here on the YouTubes. And it is Monday, so it is Monday by the decade, so we are now on to 1920. We did 1900 to 1910. I think between 1910 towards 1920 it was pretty much the same, so we're going to go 1920 because next week is going to be my favorite decade, which is the 1930s for aesthetics. My favorite decades in order are for aesthetics are 30s, 20s, 40s, 10s, 50s. So there we go. So if you want to see the look we create, I even did curlers, you're in the right place. And you know what you need to do? You need to keep on watching. So another Monday, another decade. So we're on to the 1920s. We started last week with 1910. I should hopefully post it up there, or 1900 to 1910. So we're doing 1920. And so going to Glamour Days, who always seem to help me out here. They say here, a 1920s woman was the first to truly create an artificial face, startling eyes, scarlet lips, and a pale pallor. Thanks to buckets of powder resembling that of a corpse. We ain't doing that today. I gotta go out for coffee. The consumer boom in makeup simplified women's requirements, and a handbag carried all the daring flapper needed. Cake mascara applied with a brush, and the ever-present push-up lipstick. The cosmetic innovations of the 1910s heavily influenced the 1920s. So again, we did kind of like 1900 to 1910. So you could kind of almost say 1910 to 1920s because of the influences, because of starlets on stage. That's when makeup started to get popular. Lipstick, eyeshadow, mascara, and pan sticks, etc. from brands like Maybelline and Max Factor were now seen on dressing tables and handbags across America and Europe. I love a pan stick. My favorite of all time is from Besame. I have tons of tubes to prove it, but they're all used up and it makes me sad they don't make it anymore. Maybe one day, because they are starting more makeup, different types of makeup versus lips. And then it was the Anastasia of Beverly Hills. I have not found another one to date that I'd like. I do like the Danessa Myricks cream one, and one I have from, I wanted to say Cover FX, but that's not it. Anyways, it's another kind of makeup artist makeup brand. RCMA, yes, I have an RCMA one that's pretty good. Oh, we could have used that one today, but we're going to be using the Woma Beauty one because it's nice and pale, but not too pale because I got to go out today. So it says here, a lot of the looks featured pale matte skin, downturned sad eyes, rosy blush, and heart-shaped blood red lips. A festive but easy to do makeup look that won't take you too much time or require a lot of products. Definitely, because you're just doing maybe a smudgy eye or a little bit of eyeshadow. And again, it was usually, I believe, brown, black, and I think blue started to become popular. Between 1910 and 1920. Dark defined lashes were a must for actresses and showgirls. And then it says here, Besame's Cake Mascara will bring out the flapper in anyone. It comes in authentic cake style in a tin, so you don't want to throw away, which you don't, because look at that. Isn't it just so beautiful? The original applicator brush, I have no idea where it was, so we're just going to use a spoolie. So anyways, this is something a 1920s flapper would use. And then there was a new brand that was created in the 1920s, and this one is, I don't think I've ever seen anything. Even when I look for vintage makeup, I do have like a vintage eyeshadow and I think a vintage rouge that I don't put on my skin, trust me. It's called Trejour, TRE/JUR, under the lead cosmetic entrepreneur Albert Moshim. Other notable makeup brands joined the ranks of Trejour were Max Factor, Coty, Rubenstein, of course, Elizabeth Arden, first makeup brand I ever had on my face. And then in 1920s included the 10G lipsticks. In 1922, Peggy Sage, 1925, Charles of the Ritz, 1926, Bonnie Bell, 1927. Who knew the glosses and lippies of that were the late 70s, early 80s that I always rocked? Have been around since 1927. And Kiss Proof was also 1927. So basically eyes were kohl eyeshadow for the more daring girls. eyebrows plucked for the first time and drawn downwards towards the temple. Lips were smaller than the natural lip line, so you're drawing more inside, and they are done into a cupid bows shape, so we'll give that a whirl today. And lashes, mascara was the new rage, and no woman could resist enhancing her lashes. Well, we may put on lashes today to enhance it some more. Rouge applied in circles rather than angular. The effect was a rounded face. Yeah, I don't need that effect because I do have a rounded face. And then nails, the name was Revlon, and the popular style was the moon manicure, leaving the tips in painted, but we're not doing our nails today. So there we go. There's a little bit on 1920s makeup, and I even have a Besme 1920s perfume. Their 1930s is my favorite. I had a bottle, they discontinued it, then they brought it back, so I have stocked up, but I also bought 1920s and 1940s to try. But this one smells really nice. It was the first time I opened it today, so you won't be able to smell it, but I'm going to be wearing it today. Alrighty, so we're going to do ourselves a little bit of a base, and then as we're doing the base, I can discuss the other products that we're going to be using. Here's another, of course, a beautiful flapper icon. We've got ourselves the Betty Boop, so we're going to be playing with some Betty Boop things as well. So first for primer, again, this wouldn't be a 1920s thing. I don't think they had primer back in the day, but I'm a little red today. You can see some little spots here, so we're going to do the ZZ Cosmetics, and I don't know if they use these. They definitely didn't use these types of sponges back in the day, but we're all good. This is 1925 after all. But yes, so here we go. I didn't bring out too many brushes. Hopefully I can do this with this on. Maybe see if we can push it back a little bit more. So I don't want me to get a little foundation on the cap. That's okay. I can wash it. Isn't it cute? I bought it in a little Asian store that was closing. Well, of course I had little anime things, but it just had like kitchenware and cute little purses and wigs, and I saw this and it was so pretty. Just ties in the back. I can sleep with it. Covers everything. Because it has elastic that stretches out in the back as well, that you can have quite a plethora of curlers in your hair and it'll still cover. It's really quite great. Alrighty. Wish the store was still there. They had some really cute things, but you know, these days rents are so expensive. Alrighty. So for other products besides the Woma for a paler face, I do have paler ones, but I have this French vanilla, I believe, or is it, oh no, it says translucent, but it does have a yellowy kind of tint, but this is the classic Besame powder. We do have that. For eyes, I've got on loan from Martha, the Nomad in Chicago Speakeasy. Isn't this beautiful? It kind of has almost the same cover as the Orient Express does, where it's a velvet and has the bit of embossing. It's very tactile. If I'd known it was like that, I would have probably bought it. It's so beautiful, and it is lovely inside. I wasn't sure about this color story when I saw it, and I think that's another reason why I didn't buy it last year. But this center row, I did a makeup look. If I remember, I'll post it in there that I did for going out with my friend Jeff yesterday, my bestie of probably, yeah, over 30 years. So there we go. That's it there. It does have some nice purples and a lot of neutrals. So I thought the neutrals would be really fun to add that little bit of brown in the eye line today. But I thought since it's on a theme, we would play with this. If there was more of an eye makeup look, I would have dragged out my Orient Express as well, but we're just going to play with that for eyes. So I thought, again, some Besame, a little bit Speakeasy. That's totally keeping in time, I think. And of course, our Betty Boop. So let's put on the foundation. And then speaking of Betty Boop, we're going to use for blush, we're going to use from Glam Light from the Betty Boop collection. We're going to be using this blush duo here. For lips, we're going to be using the Betty Boop lip kit. And then I did bring a little highlighter. So I know, like, especially around the time of like Marilyn Monroe, like 1950s, highlighter was done with, it was like basically white. It was more of a, I think of a, almost like a white eyeshadow. It was very light, but it was cream. And I believe, and I think Besame had put one out in their Maryland collection. Had I think I was trying to no buy at the time, and had it not been as expensive as it was, again, there are small brands. I'm not saying that it's done on purpose, but it was just out of my range at the time. I did actually want to try their version of the white cream as a highlighter, but we're going to go with my Hojo, which is an amazing highlighter. You can get it on Amazon. I think you can still get it. They have 3 different shades. The very white one here, one that's a pinkish one, and I think the other one is a more darker, very gold shade. I have 2 out of the 3. I didn't get the darker gold shade. So here we are. I didn't want to put too much on. This is actually a good, it smells so good too. Love the smell of this stuff. I think that's probably why I bought more bottles of it. This looks really good in film. If you put on a teeny bit too much, it is a little bit heavy for in person. But if you use a sponge and do just a few little drops, you can get some coverage, but you don't look, I don't think, anyways, it's not looking so here too crazy cakey, but it is nice and pale. So, and that was supposed to be of the day, right? Pale. So again, here we are. So for powder, we are using this one from Besame. I know it says translucent, but I thought it had a name as well. It is, yes, French vanilla powder in translucent, yes. And they do come like this, and they have, it's so cute. Is a little poof. And then you have the, I believe it's a lid. It has, oh yes. And you have this cute little lid, and then the product sits on top so that you can shake it a little bit. So we are going to set our face with that. A little poof for fun, just for a little bit, and then we'll go into our brush to get it all over. But it comes with this little teeny weeny, which is, I guess, good for, oh, it smells so good too. It smells like vanilla. Smells like vanilla. So let's pour a little bit into our cap here, which is what I usually do. It is more of a yellow vanilla color, but then when you put it on your face, it is very translucent. And I'm going to take a little bit with my brush here, and then I'm going to buff it on. I would think in the 1920s, if you put the powder on, it was one of those big floofs. Besame does have a few vintage style brushes. I have a lip one. I have 2 actually. I got one as a free gift. I mentioned it to somebody. Now I can't remember who it was that I promised it to. So if somebody remembers, let me know. Can't remember if it was Martha or Corinna. One of the 2 I think wanted it, but there we are. Okay, so I think that is semi-pale. So there we go. Let's put our powder away. So I think the next thing I want to quickly do is brows before I go on to anything else. So now brows, I will also be showing some of the pictures up on top here that I've been using for reference. Brain. Yes, I've just pulled tons and tons of photos for all the looks. So when you see people recreate, a lot of the looks look really smooth, like hair looks and stuff. They did most of the time have a little bit of, some of them had a little bit of frizz. So I think more for daytime, you would leave it loose like this, and you can see she's got a smoky brown eye going on the brows, kind of going like that, and the heart-shaped lip. If you wanted a little bit more glamour and feeling a little bit more flapper, you'd probably use this one here, where the hair is a little bit more slicked down, and it's done using Marcel waves, which is really pretty. I've not quite got the knack. I have a vintage one that you can use on the stove, and I do have a one that you heat that can sort of do that. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use that today, but you can do that. Here's one that's kind of in between, like daytime, it still has the Marcel wave. And then here's one where a lot of times they liked to do like hair wraps. Not quite like a full turban, but a wrap. But I think I might save that for my 1930s look, because I do have 1930s style recreated beach pajamas with a matching hair wrap. So I might do that for the 1930s. We will see. Which had a very thinner brow. That's a little scary for me. But anyways, so there we go. So there's a few of the photos that we had as inspiration. And I'll try to remember to flick them on in between so we remember what we are doing. So for brows, I've got Makeup Geek I brought the pencil one versus the mechanical pencil one, but that is all good. So I'm going to do brows. I'm going to try and see if I can make them thin just by really brushing them together. Because if I want anything more, I usually have to fluff them out anyways. So I think they're not 1930s thin, but they aren't super thick either. So let's see what we get. Again, this is just my take on these looks. I mean, I could just, you know, do like this and not color in the rest, I suppose. See, because you would be looking, well, without looking at the outside hairs, you'd be looking more kind of like this for your full 1930s look, which isn't horrible, but I would never want to pluck my brows like that. I've heard the horror stories of the girls that overplucked in the late 90s and early 2000s, and now they're desperately trying to get their brows back, or they can't get their brows back, they won't grow back. You do as you get older. In the regular places, your hair grows back slower. In the places where you don't want hair to grow, like your face, that's where it shows up. But there we go. I am going to blend it a little bit because I don't think I want it too harsh 1930s. And then this is a little bit lighter than I've been doing recently. So maybe I will darken it just a teeny bit more. So we're going to be doing a little bit more of the daytime look. We're going to be doing a little more brown eyeshadow. And not as, I think, not as smoky as a nighttime look. Okay, there we go. So this is going to be my version of a 1930s brow. I think I have to even this one a little bit more out. But if I wasn't going anywhere today, I would totally go crazy and do it as a thin brow. But here we are. So we've got our brows on a deck. Should we do blush? Yeah, let's play it with a blush. So again, for blush, we're going to use this blush duo here. We're again doing the more daytime look. So you do have a definitely more muted one. This one has a little bit more. So this is kind of in between. I think it's not quite red, almost reddish. So I think we're going to play it with this one today. Don't think they have any names that I can see. Just check here. No, it doesn't look like it. It's just two different pink ones. All right, so we are going to go. So there's one with the Betty Boop's face, and we're going to go with the one that has the hearts in it. So that's the one we're going to try. I got a little brush here, and then again, looking at the photos, they're very to the center, like here. Some I've seen do go back a little bit, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and keep it to here, but I'm going to very diffuse it and bring it down like they did and see how that looks. So maybe we should lay it out with this one and put the other one on top. How about we do that instead? Just in case. All right. And then we can add a little bit more brightness to it once we kind of have it all laid out how we want it. I think that was the safest way for me to go. Especially since I have, as we all know, blush blindness, and I like to put crap ton on. That's how I used to always do my blush. I mean, not as far down, but I used to always do the, you know, trying to like this, and then trying to get it on the apples when I was younger. All right, so I think we have that there. So now we're going to add a little bit of the brighter color on top. There we go. Wow. But then we're going to blend that really good. Oh yes, we're trying not to get it high up. Do they have any on the nose? I think this is more, for the most part, a modern invention, but I just want to double check a photo, see if there's anything. No, it looks like a pretty pale nose. So no pink on there. Alrighty, so I'm going to take now my big brush and I'm going to buff it out a little bit here. A little bit. I don't want to make it look like I have a fever. I just want to make it look like, hopefully, just a nice bright flush. Alrighty, there we go. Oh, I think that's okay. What do you think? Let me know what you think if you're a blush fanatic like I am. Alrighty, so there we go. We will put on a little highlighter, just a tinge, because I like it. Is it really 1920s? No, but look at that beautiful highlighter. We'll just do a little. Okay, so there we go. We've got our blushy blush, and it. Okay, brows done, whatever. So we have lips and mascara to do, but we can leave that for last. So let's play with a little bit of eyes. So again, we're going to look at the Nomad Cosmetics Chicago Speakeasy. And there we go. We are, of course, going to be sticking to the neutral side. This row was so cute. I got compliments on it yesterday. Do you quite like this row? The shimmers here look very beautiful. They're nice and tactile to the touch as well. But I only brought 2 different brushes because we're going to try and do just like a smudgy brown look, one to place a little bit of color and one to really blend it out. I just wasn't sure if I wanted a liner or not, so I didn't bring one. But let's start with this very dark shade. And this is the one that is called the Drunken Goat. Alrighty, Drunken Goat it is, so that is that shade there. So we're just going to take a little bit. I picked a brush that had floof, but was a little bit flat. That way I can try and keep it as much as possible. Ooh, a little bit of kick up, careful. To try to keep it as close to just the bottom part of the mobile lid. And then we can blend into the mobile lid. I don't think I want to go farther than that. Alrighty, so now we're going to take that nice floofy brush, and I'm just going to blend to give it a little bit more diffused, smoky. I didn't bring an eyeliner, but I forgot. I'm going to actually just use my eyebrow brush. And I'm just going to go a little bit against the lash line just to try and make it a little bit thicker. Yeah, who doesn't like a multi-use tool? I think what I want to do, because again, they wouldn't have put like a shiny shimmer shade as far as I know in the middle of the eye, but what I might do is just take a little bit of one of the lighter colors and pop that into the middle. So Windy City is nice, but I think I'm going to take a little bit of the Absinthe House. I love Absinthe. A little bit of that. I'm just going to pop that into the middle just to lighten a little bit. It's not that it's super dark brown the way I did it, but a little bit in the middle. I don't know if it changes much, but blend it up just a little bit higher, a little bit, because I do have these beautiful girls in the photos. Well, the one has a little bit of a hooded eye, but I think as bad as mine. So this way, if I put up a little bit, then just get a little bit of the brown to show if I have my eyes totally. Okay, there we go. I like that. I like that. Okay, so I really do like this palette. Like I said, I'll try and remember to post the photo I did with the greens and the, I don't know if it's supposed to be a black, but I think it's like a darkest of browns. So that, I really like this. I definitely want to play this a few more times before I give it back to Martha. Alrighty, so I think we can do the mascara. And let me show you again how this looks. So it comes like this. It originally has, which I still have it, has a little seal on there, a little resume. And then you can flip that open and then you have your mascara there. You need a little bit of water. This time I'm going to remember to take the small cap off, not the big cap off. And then you're going to make yourself a little concoction here. It's been a while since I've used this one, so hopefully we can get one that is a nice consistency. So let me grab, oh, I did bring an eyeliner. Woohoo! Okay, maybe we'll add a little bit more. Okay, first let's do it. Let's make our concoction. So with this brush, I have a flat brush on there. So let's mix this together. So if I have a little bit too much water, then what I do is I bring it all the way to the four corners of it, so I can try and get a little bit of a consistency I like. Alrighty, so now I'm going to go and dip our spoolie in there. I'm going to bend the spoolie a little bit. Here we go. We've got a coat on there, and let's put some on. All right, there we go. There's literally only so much I can do with the teeny weeny lashes that I have, unfortunately. But I do like this. And it's pretty good if you have a smaller spoolie. I don't know, maybe just a shadow. I was going to say it's a little bit easier to use this on your bottom lashes. I find sometimes with the other mascara one, sometimes I get it on the bottom. So I usually don't get as much on the bottom lashes because I don't want to wear it as a smudge later on. But there we go. And I did find that liner. It was just tucking under my, what is it called? It's my keyboard. So I can add a little bit to the waterline here. This is one from Laura Geller. It's not the most long lasting, but yeah, I had to get from that Sephora at some point. Smudgy stick. Try and get a brown one. I have a green and a black. There we go, just a little bit. Okay, so next up, let's do ourselves some lips. So it's the Cute Betty Boop Duo. They didn't really mention anything about lip liner, but I am going to line my lips. Look at this heart shape, it's so cute. So I am going to line my lips here. Nose? Okay, let's see what we can do here. All right, now let's take a little bit of the red. Beautiful red shade. Now, well, this is super heart shaped. I'm gonna go and look at the photo again. This might be a little bit too extreme for my happy place. So I think, yeah, I think I am going to do it full, but I'm just going to do like they do it. It doesn't go outside my lip line. Just a gentle, because if I really rub my lips together, it usually goes a little bit outside my line the way, like to the edge. But there we go. A little bit of a heart-shaped lip. Okay, so I'm going to go and do my hair. If you want to ever see me do brush out and everything with my hair, let me know. But I haven't been doing it as much as I like, and I love doing my hair. So we will be back in a second. Is it just me, or I got some Betty Davis Sweet Baby Jane vibes going on here? And here we go, our finished look. I couldn't find my crimping one because I thought I could probably put in a little bit, and the curls are a bit long, so I've had to pin them up a bit. But here we go. Here is my attempt at a 1920s look. The hair may be slightly more 1930s, but here we are. So what do we think? Not that you can smell it, but I thought I would try a little bit of this perfume. So again, this is Besme's 1920. I bought it, they were having a sale, and you could get one free. So I was rebuying my 1930s, and so I thought I'd get it in the 1940s that was on sale, and then I got in a 1920s, I think, for free. It has a smell that reminds me of a perfume that I didn't like when I was younger, but it's whatever that note is so light in here that this is actually wearable. So the 1930s is still my favorite, but I'm trying to maybe Chanel number 5-ish, because there's a note in there that bothers me, and it's in here, but it is so light that it, like I said, it's wearable. If I remember, I will put the notes of the perfume on top in case you are interested. So there we go again. So just pop that in there. Did I at least get that blushy cheek right? I think so. So anyways, there is our foray into the 1920s for Makeup by the Decade Mondays. So if you like this video, please give a like, a comment, and subscribe. Maybe even hit that notification bell. If not, that's okay. We can still be friends and play with Makeup by the Decade. As always, behave, make good choices, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye-bye.